What's up, Real MVPs, Ricky Widmer here, and welcome back to another episode of MVP Games Live, right here on either MVP Entertainment or twitch.tv/MVP Vids. I am joined, as I always am, by my beautiful co-host, Soapy Muffin.
Hey, guys.
Soapy, how you doing today? I feel like in a couple, the past few days, I haven't asked you really, how you're doing.
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
You know what? I'm actually, I thought I was doing good for a while, but then, I had some smooth brain moments today. The smooth brain moments kind of knock you down. You know what I'm saying? They knock you down a little bit. But overall, I'm doing good. I'm hyped on the sports side. I can't wait for the NBA draft lottery tonight. Hope the Bulls get the number one pick. But I know that's sports. Getting it. The Pistons. I'd be happy for I would be happy for you, Soaps, if the Pistons went ahead and got it. But obviously, you guys aren't here for sports. You're here for game. Mike decided to unplug. You can still hear me, right, Soaps? You can still hear me, right?
I was just saying.
It was like, whoa, cut out.
Fucking did that. I was like, did I disconnect?
No, same thing happened during Sports Live. So my boom arm tugs on the cord sometimes, and it unplugs from my mic. But you guys are here for gaming news, is what I was saying. Before we get into everything we are talking about today, we're going to go a little bit into housekeeping. And the first thing on housekeeping today is join the Discord channel. We've got a great Discord channel with all of our fans in it. The real MVPs are there talking about sports, gaming, entertainment, everything under the sun. There's even a wrestling chat. That link is either in the Twitch chat right now.
Ricky, I don't mean to sound.
Go ahead.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but
go ahead.
You should probably look at the Twitch chat witness protection program, man.
What's going on?
It sounds like it's like deafening your voice so people can so people can't tell your identity.
Is that better? Is that clearer, Twitch chat?
Yeah, that's better.
That better?
You sound like Ricky. You don't sound like Darth Vader.
Did it really make my voice? I can't wait. I cannot wait.
Yeah, dude, you dropped like 3 octaves, and that scared the shit out of me when I first heard it, and I just was sitting here in terror.
Luke, I am your father. Or is it more of like the...
Yeah, that's basically what you fucking
did. You were
did.
born in... you have just become
a lot
quarantined. Lower. I was born in quarantine.
It was basically Darth Vader.
Oh, man, I'm glad that I'm good now. But what I was saying is Discord. Join the Discord. The link's either in Twitch chat right now. If not, Soapy, Shawn, someone will put it in there on YouTube. It's down below in that description. Also, like I said, if you're watching on Twitch, MVP Entertainment, you can catch the show the day after at the latest. But if you're on YouTube, we do the show live Monday through Friday. Twitch.tv/MVP Vids, and then support the channel, patreon.com/MVP Vids. That's where you can help support us. We got great rewards there for you. And thank you to our Patreon producers, Pat Hill and Shawn, Demon, whatever you want to call them. Those are the two that really make the live shows run, but we can't do what we do without the support of all our patrons. But Soapy, let's get into the show today. Now that my voice is at the proper octave that a voice of mine should be at. And the first thing we are talking about is a brand new RP. It's an action RPG or an ARPG that basically it's been announced overnight, and this is coming from IGN. I think it's Joe Skrebels from IGN has this to write. Black Myth Wukong, an action RPG based on classic Chinese tale Journey to the West, has been announced for consoles and PC alongside an impressive 13-minute gameplay video. That video is getting some sections of the internet very excited indeed. Developed by Game Science, Black Myth appears to be taking Souls-like approach to gameplay, but with a vibrant environmental art style created in Unreal Engine 4, and a neat stealth mechanic in which you turn into a cicada to avoid bigger threats. You can check out the 13-minute pre-alpha gameplay. We'll have that. That's on YouTube, Black Myth Wukong, and you should be able to look that up, including exploration, combat, stealth, boss battles, and a montage of different environments, and a giant battle thrown in for good measure. So, Soapy, I'm going to ask you, whether RPGs are your jam, you like them, you don't like them, what is your thoughts after seeing the gameplay trailer for Black Myth Wukong?
I mean, dude, the second I saw Dark Souls gameplay, my jimmies were just fully going. Like, holy, dude, like, it's like a fucking engine right now.
Yeah.
The jimmies are just pumping on full action.
Rock
like,
hard.
you kidding me? Yeah. Rock solid. And it's basically just the fact of, like, dude, it's fun. Like, if it's Dark Souls in an RPG, sign me up.
Yeah.
I don't give a single fuck what happens. That game could literally be the worst thing of ever. Wouldn't matter. It's Dark Souls RPG. I get to run around and die all the time.
Yeah. I mean, for me, the coolest thing was like they mentioned in the article, where like, really I was watching it and I'm like, okay, gameplay wise, they're not like reinventing the wheel. And I don't mean that in like a bad thing. Like, oh, we've seen a game like this before. Like, the gameplay that they showed, like the combat I'm talking about, it didn't seem like anything revolutionary, but it was still really fucking good. Like the character they showed, how he was using like early on I'm watching, he's using like a kind of like a bow staff, like a long stick, and he's very agile. He's able to like dodge out of the way really quickly. His attacks are very quick and smooth. And to me, it's like, okay, combat looks good. The thing that blew me away was because like the beginning of it, you're following the cicada, and I'm sitting there and I'm going, okay, is it first person? Is it third person? Because to me, I don't know why, and I know we've talked about this on the show before. If I'm going to be an RPG, like playing an RPG, I like the third person more than the first person. I don't know why that is. It's just how I am. But like being able to, hey, I'm going to turn into a cicada, and like that's how you stealth, and like how he like went into a bush as a cicada while this big fucking what looked like a T-Rex was kind of like just walking by. Like that to me is something where I'm like, huh, not only does that add an element of stealth that I am not used to in a game, it also adds a kind of element of travel and how you can move throughout the world, where maybe because they have this turning into a cicada, hey, it's not going to feel like, fuck, I got to go all the way over there, because it's going to be easier to move through this world as a cicada rather than in your just regular human form.
Yeah. And that's something that I always like in games, when they give you the option to have a stealthy approach. Obviously, I mean, they show in the trailer that like eventually the stealth kind of gets broken. Because whenever you're flying around, you know, being a little bugaboo,
you can like
and
just
out
fly
of nowhere,
past people.
Yeah. But then the one guy notices them. So like it almost seems like, you know, some enemies you're able to sneak by, some you can't. Which I know that's gonna rub some people the wrong way.
Yeah.
But I mean, dude, like just seeing the way this game looks, because I just got done in the trailer where he finishes the boss battle. Like that's like it's just cool as fuck, dude.
Yeah. And like for me, I'm gonna jump in really quick. I'm watching right now a part where he's fighting like multiple mobs at one time. And the other question I have, we don't have this answer because this is just like a, hey, this is coming, here it is there's a part where he turns into like is it kind of like a lion man? Where he like, it almost reminds me of, was it called Primal Roar? On, I think it was Primal Fury Bloody Roar on GameCube, where it was a fighting game where you would like hit the ultimate and your person would like turn into an animal. That's almost what it reminded me of. And I'm like, okay, since it's an RPG, am I going to be able to not only customize my character, but be able to not only pick a different fighting style and have different fighting styles that you can go between? Am I also going to be able to pick like a different like transformative power? Like this guy turns into a lion man. Is there going to be different animals, different forms that you can kind of choose from? Kind of like how you would have different classes in like other RPGs.
Yeah. And especially, I mean, there's probably going to only be like a limited amount of animals because if it's telling the story of a journey to the west,
Yeah.
this character kind of looks like Sun Wukong, which I think he's like the main bad guy in that one.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen it.
I would say
just
like
read
I was
anything about
thinking like would there be 3, like at the most 4, but like mainly like would there be like 3 that you can choose from that would be like different play styles for like what kind of an experience you want in that form.
Yeah, well, because I know if this is based like kind of heavy into it, then I think it's going to be 4. Because if I remember correctly, they can turn into a bull, a tiger, or a hawk. Which I mean, obviously, I don't know if you're going to really need a hawk if you can turn into a cicada. But
I mean, it could be a hawk
I mean,
man. What if they like adapted it as like a hawk man? He like he basically like uses his wings and shit. That'd be fucking cool and weird, but it would work if it looks cool enough. Yeah, I'm excited. Like, there's another ability that's later on where he like takes dust and he just blows it, and then it's like mirrors or multiples of him come out to where I'm like, okay, how customizable? Because like that's another thing too of how customizable is this going to be? Is there going to be a tree? Like basically the most games have the 3 tree thing where like Borderlands, you've got 3 different specs. You pick which one you want to go to, how far you want to go to. Is it going to be like that? Is it going to be where you have to like buy skills and abilities with certain like in-game currency that you earn by just playing the game? Like, I'm intrigued with this, and the thing that sucks for me is that we don't have the answers that I'm throwing out there right now. Like, questions I'm throwing out now, I know I don't have the answers. I know you don't have the answers, Soapy. Like, these are like the questions that I'm just throwing out in my mind because there's so many that I have about this game.
Yeah, and especially, I mean, it's since this is the first. I mean, this may be not like the first time we're ever hearing about it. Like, this may have been like something that like like smaller like groups of people knew about.
Yeah.
But like, it's something that if this is just the first gameplay we're seeing of it, I can accept not really knowing anything about it. So I'm excited to see what comes from it. Like, I'm not going to hold the lack of stuff we know about it against it, because that's basically that I would sound like a hypocrite for being super excited for Cyberpunk, and we don't jack diddly shit about Cyberpunk. So, like, I'm excited. This game, at least just from the gameplay, like I said, literally reminds me of Dark Souls. Just not as fucking dark.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hey, this is Light Souls now.
Yeah. And that's pretty much where we're going to leave that because, like you said, we don't know much about it. It just looks really fucking cool. So if you have not checked it out, I probably could have, like, now that I fixed my Streamlabs for the most part, maybe in the future while we're talking about a game, I could have the trailer playing next time. I thought about halfway through now that I could probably do that. That would be a little bit better than seeing our faces talk about it. But it's called Black Myth Wukong, Wukong. But Soapy, the next thing we're kind of taking a look at is the PlayStation 5. This was originally going to be our headline topic, but then I was like, you know what? This fucking RPG is so cool. And I feel like I have more to say about the RPG than I do about the PlayStation ad highlights, that I put that one first. But this one coming from Owen S Good at Polygon. First PlayStation 5 ad highlights DualSense controllers haptic feedback. They put out like a minute 30 video on their YouTube channel that kind of showed like you were kind of walking through and they said like, oh, you can experience the world in different ways. And one of them was, so as it says here, but it appears to be allegorical thought of the PS5's haptic feedback through the new DualSense controller and the console's 3D audio capabilities. A world you can see with sound, says the narrator, and an accompanying blog post on Thursday morning adds more perspective from developers on how PS5 games will call on senses other than sight. Director of basically, so the director of Deathloop said the DualSense's adaptive triggers and haptics will bring some physicality in game experiences and give important feedback. Deathloop being a first-person shooter, we do a lot of things to make the weapons feel differently from one another. One I like is blocking the triggers when your weapon jams to give to the player an immediate feedback even before the animation plays out, which prompts the player in a physical way that they have to unjam their gun. There's also Gavin Moore of SI Japan Studio, the folks behind the Demon Souls remake, said the haptics will enhance melee combat as well. You'll experience the force of a titanic boss attack as you pull off a well-timed guard, Moore said. Metal strikes metal when your foes block your attacks and you block theirs. The extra sensory feedback, though, the controller allows you to know your attack hit home and your perfectly timed parry was a success. So you can react faster and more decisively. There's more. Gran Turismo 7 maker also had comments, but Soapy, I'm just going to ask you, what is your thought about this when consoles kind of bring in with our controller, we want to go beyond just the sight of you seeing the game and reacting to the game?
Yeah. And just from like everything that was listed of where, like it's like the controller feels like it jams up if your gun's jammed and stuff like that. Like that's always been cool to me. Like personally for me, I've never liked PlayStation's controllers.
Yeah.
Mostly because I don't want to flex my big hands, but I have some pretty big hands, and PlayStation has very small controllers.
Yeah, I mean the controller, I've got one right here in front of me. It's not super, like, I get what you mean, where it's like I've got smaller hands, so for me it always felt like it fits nice. Like it's got just there's not a lot of bulk to it, where the Xbox controller, on the other hand, I've never liked Xbox because I've always thought their controllers were a little bulky, especially like when I picked up the Xbox One, the first time I ever picked up an Xbox console.
Yeah. So, I mean, that concept, though, of like the controller basically reacting to what's happening in the game is cool as shit to me. I know Xbox isn't going to do that because we hate having cool things on Xbox. But, like, it's
dashboard,
just that.
Man.
I mean, hey, man. We can finally have animated wallpapers. That's like the biggest thing I get to look forward to in the future.
You guys haven't had animated wallpapers?
We had them in 360, but like they were the least animated fucking wallpaper I've ever seen in my entire life.
We get like full themes on PlayStation. Like if I booted up mine right now, you'd fucking see a red background with Spider-Man on it because I have the Spider-Man background. Because I got my Spider-Man PlayStation, but. Yeah, that blows my mind that we're Gen 4 going on Gen 5, and you're just now getting animated wallpapers?
Well, to be fair, ours are going to actually be basically like full-on movies now, so
okay.
We went from none to like a fucking movie. So
that'll probably have problems, and then Xbox will be like, we're taking them away.
Yep, just like they took away the Snap feature, which is the only good goddamn thing Microsoft ever did. But this isn't a conversation about Microsoft. Yeah. I'm excited for PlayStation players. Like that's like I said before a few times. Basically, I've just been a broken record during this. It's a cool feature.
Yeah,
I won't get to experience it, but that's cool.
The thing about it that because the gun jamming thing, when I read that, I was like, okay, like I get what you're saying, but I don't know, like what am I then gonna have to do in the game to unjam my gun? That's the only hiccup there. I know, like, I'll bring up my PlayStation controller again. Like, when they switched to these Dual Shocks, it was the first time not only did we have the touchpad in the middle, which, I'll be honest, for some games, I really liked having this touchpad in the middle, because all I would have to do is I'm sitting here with my controller, I'm playing, all right, I want to pull up the mini map. And instead of like having to go through options, it would just be boom, hit the middle button. All right, hit that middle button. It's so big, you can just hit it. But at the same time, there have been games like Madden where what I will do is I will do this and like press the controller into my face when I make a mistake, and that will press on the big button. And I have called several timeouts when I didn't want to that way. The other thing is like the little speaker that it has here on the controller. I remember when they first did that, like I was playing MLB and the sound started coming out of my controller. I was like, holy shit. Like, I'm not hearing my player. I'm not hearing, because it was like how they did it was Road to the Show. Let's say my guy was at second and he was fielding a grounder. Well, through the controller, you'd hear like one of the other players go two, go two. And it was like, oh shit. Like, okay, you're telling me, okay, we're going for a double play. The one with this, though, is the melee combat, where, I mean, your eyes register things, and like games have usually been like, oh, it's a red circle if it missed, or a green circle. But like being able to feel, okay, that parry hit, or that parry blocked, okay, that was a good attack, because there are so many games now that are like melee combat to where it's like, all right, that melee strike gets you to go into another one to get bigger combos off. And it's like, if I can feel that on my controller, that's just going to help me be more kind of proactive in the next melee strike that I'm going to have to do. So like, all of this is fucking cool. I can't wait to actually get the controller in my hands and play the damn thing. I'm going to have to wait until later this year, obviously, to do that. But yeah, this first look has been amazing. It was only 1:30, but yeah, I'm psyched about everything. Then the next story we're looking at, Soapy. This one we kind of talked about pre-show with Dave, and I think you're gonna have a few bit to say about it. It has to do with your buddies, your buddy old pals over at Epic, Soapy, because we know
I love these guys.
How much you've been loving talking about Epic the last few days. But this is from Michael McWhertor at Hitman, or at Polygon. Hitman 3.
At Hitman.com.
Yeah, at Hitman.com. No, at Polygon.com. Hitman 3 will be an Epic Game Store exclusive on PC. And it says Epic locks down the next Hitman for 12 months. Here's the article, because Soapy and I had a little discrepancies on how we would interpret this. So it says Hitman 3 will be exclusive to the Epic Games Store on Windows PC when the game launches in 2021. Developer IO Interactive announced Thursday. IO's deal with Epic, which lasts 12 months, has given the freedom to create Hitman 3 exactly as we imagined and self-publish the game to our players directly, the studio said in a statement. The Hitman developer added, "It's also important to us that we honor the time our existing PC players have spent in our previous games. The players on PC will be able to carry over progression from Hitman 2 on Steam to Hitman 3 on the Epic Game Store, and they'll also be able to import locations from Hitman and Hitman 2 to Hitman 3. Hitman 3 is also coming to PS4, PS5, Stadia, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X next year." IO announced in June that players will be able to import locations from the first two games into the third, resulting in all 20-plus locations from the entire trilogy in one place. Players on all platforms will likewise be able to import progress from Hitman 2 to Hitman 3. And the kind of hiccup that was, and I'll ask Twitch chat this, is from what I read off, This sounds like to me that this is Hitman 3 will release on Epic Game Store January 2021. It will be an exclusive the entire way through, and PS4, 5, Xbox, Stadia is not going to get this until 2022. So my question to Twitch chat is, do you interpret that the same way? My question for you, Soapy, is if that's true, how bad of a deal is this for Hitman 3?
The game's gonna die right away, and the reason why is, like, people have been excited for Hitman.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just the only thing, if they did that, this would literally show the terrible side of exclusivity, because I know damn well, I know gaming companies well enough that they would pull the same bullshit that every company would, of the game would release on console, they'd somehow make it that, oh, here we go, here's this, like, they'd release launch day version of the game a year after, and then people are going to be pissed.
Yeah.
And obviously, I'm on the opposite side of everything. I think it's just the wording of it's really bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but if they did that, it kills the game.
And Shawn's on the same side. Obviously, Soapy and Philly Shawn, same person. Yeah. Shawn says, no, it's only Steam that isn't getting it. No way they do that, especially since Hitman 3 was at a PlayStation event. I'm hoping that's true, and I just wanted to bring that up just in case it is true. We've kind of mentioned it. Like, other than that, how much of a win then? Like, is this a huge win then for Epic? Because Steam won't get it for an entire year? Because, like, we saw the same thing, I think it was Borderlands. Borderlands 3 was an Epic exclusive, and then we saw it come to Steam after that first year. Do you think this is going to be, I don't have the numbers in front of me, of if that Borderlands 3 exclusivity was a huge hit for Epic? Like, if it, like, obviously Borderlands 3 was a huge hit, but like, how do I want to phrase this? Did it help them enough to get a head start over Steam? Or is this just sometimes shit like this happens. Some people play it on Epic, some people wait to play it on Steam.
So I can answer that first part.
Mm-hmm.
It helped Epic in the fact of, like, Borderlands 3 was a super hyped up game.
Yeah.
But also, it wasn't exclusive for a whole year. It was only exclusive for a month.
Okay.
It was for like a month or 2 months or something like that.
Where this one's going to be a full year.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it helped in the fact of, like, oh, you had all the people who wanted to play Borderlands 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then people realized Borderlands 3 is like a just above mediocre game, and they're like, man, I kind of regret only using Epic for this.
Yeah. I mean,
like, I don't think this is like a big enough win to be like, oh, dude, Epic's crushing it. It's like, Hitman's always kind of appealed to, like, a niche audience to begin with.
mm-hmm.
Mostly just because, like, the style of game it is. Like, don't get me wrong, like, I love these styles of games, but, like, I could wait a whole year to play Hitman.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not chomping at the bit to sit here and be like, oh shit, dude, do I gotta buy this on Epic? Do I have to? It's like, I always have just kind of had the thought of, like, I can wait.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're that impatient and you're one of those people like, oh, I don't want to use Epic because fuck Epic. Like, don't get me wrong, I kind of have that same mentality at times about Epic, but I'm sorry, my bad.
I wanted to jump in because I have a problem then with the phrasing from IO Interactive themselves, because in the quote from the article, it said it's also important to us that we honor the time our existing PC players have spent in our previous games. Like, when they say that, I know that they're probably talking about, hey, we're going to say, like, we're saying that because you're going to be able to carry over your progression from Steam to the Epic's Game Store. But, like, to me, I look at it and I want to flip on the other side, and I want to play devil's advocate of, yes, you're allowing me to kind of bring over my stuff from Steam to Epic, but if you really wanted to honor your PC players, would you have them jump through a hurdle that, like, yes, is it a hard hurdle to download the Epic Game Store and get it that way? No, but yet again, it's like, isn't that kind of making your players jump through a hurdle just to get your game? Like, if you truly wanted to honor your PC gamers, wouldn't you just be able to say, hey, you can play it wherever you want? And I know the money talks, and I know they're probably getting a sweet deal here from Epic, and Epic's rolling in the cash now because they're going to make all the PC money for the first year on this. But, like, I look at that comment and I just think that it's like, you say you want to honor your players, but, oh, you can only play it right here. Like, I feel like truly honoring your players would be, hey, you can carry over your progress and you can play it Steam, Epic, we're going to be on both.
Well, I mean, honoring your gamers in that sense was more of like you can carry maps.
Yeah.
Like, to be brutally honest, most companies don't care what launcher they launch on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I think, and also, I will say, a lot of people unnecessarily hate the Epic launcher. Mm-hmm. Like, obviously, I'm not going to be like, oh, the Epic launcher is the greatest thing of all time, because it's not. Like, Steam is still definitely the best launcher there is.
What would you say is the biggest negative about the Epic launcher? Because I've only used Steam. I'm a Steam boy when it comes to computers.
Epic, at one point, was basically streaming your data to people.
Okay.
There was that. It didn't work for like a whole year.
Mm-hmm.
There was that. I'm trying to remember. There was one other stupid thing. I think it was like, it basically like damn near like crashed some people's computers.
Mm-hmm.
And by crashed, I mean it broke them.
So it's really
like it basically tanked it.
It's had some technical problems, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean it'll always be better than the Bethesda launcher because fuck that thing.
Mm-hmm.
But like I think Epic gets a lot more hate because it's like they're trying to directly compete with Steam. Because obviously, it's Philly Shawn, our producer.
Yeah, I was gonna bring him up.
He put the Epic is trying to kill Steam and it's gonna work. I don't think it's gonna work.
Okay. I was going to ask you that.
Absolutely not. And it's only because Steam is such a big entity in gaming that the only thing Epic could do is start locking down, like, this game will never come to Steam.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only chance. And even at that, companies are not that greedy.
Yeah.
Epic would have to start throwing some big fucking bags at people. I mean, hey, man, and when they win that lawsuit against Apple and they can fucking fully monetize their game, oh, it's over. That's when Steam dies.
Yeah, I mean, what would be the game, though, that would have to... Because, like, Borderlands 3 was only a month. Hitman 3 is not a big enough game in my mind to do that. What would, like, if Epic Game Store was like, dude, we locked down Call of Duty Cold War for a year. All right, you've got it. That would not kill Steam, but it'd be like, holy shit, that's a huge blow to Steam. Because like that's a game that is that's a game that's huge. It's huge. But like I don't think fucking Hitman's that big of a game, and even Philly Shawn agrees. He said Call of Duty. But yet again, I don't know if Activision does that.
Activision wouldn't do that.
Because they've got their own like if they were gonna do that, they wouldn't be able to put it.
They make their own launcher.
Well, they do. They've got the Blizzard launcher. Like it's on the launcher.
Yeah, true. I always forget about that.
Yeah, the launcher you get for like World of Warcraft and stuff, it's on there. So it's like they've got their own launcher. You can buy it through them, buy it through Steam. Like you said, they don't care where you buy it. They just want you to buy it to give them the money. So this was just something small I wanted to bring up. The next thing we're going into is a classic here on the show. It's called Shorty But A Goodie.
I don't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
I do have one last little comment about the game.
Usually I ask you, what's your final thoughts, Soaps?
A game that could absolutely fuck up Steam if they did that is if GTA 6 ever comes out.
Oh, okay. Do you think GTA 6 would... Do you think Rockstar would do that?
I don't think they would, but if Epic could find a way to do that, that definitely would hit them. And that's because somehow... in fucking 2020,
good point.
A basically seven-year-old game is still a goddamn license to print money.
You're talking about GTA 5?
Yeah. And let's say like GTA 6 is just as big of a hit.
Mm-hmm.
that basically means Epic then has full exclusive to a license to print money, which they already have in Fortnite.
Yeah. Even if it's like it's just exclusive for a year, or would it have to be
Oh no, I'm talking about like
exclusive?
having like exclusive.
Okay.
Like I don't think having exclusive for a year
Means
would
anything.
kill Steam.
Okay. But like making it where, like, for example, for the longest time, MLB The Show only on PlayStation. You want to play Spider-Man only on PlayStation. I think Infamous only on PlayStation. Like, if it was one of those things, then yeah, that would hit Steam where it hurts. That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, just for like a year and a month, doesn't matter.
Yeah. So the next thing we're going into, Shorty But A Goodie. These are kind of these short little stories that we don't have a lot to say on, but we still want to talk about them on the show. And Soapy, the first thing we're going to look at, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to switch over really quick. I am going to put this basically in front of us. We're talking about Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War again, because we talked about it yesterday. Go check out yesterday's show to talk about that. But It looks like we have, and I will take the overlay down in a second. There you go. It looks like we have our first look at what the cover art is going to be like. So on screen, you guys can see for yourselves here what the cover art looks like. Soapy, what are your thoughts if this is the cover we're getting for Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War?
I mean, that looks like a pretty cool cover. My only beef with it is this reminds me too much of like the way that I think it's like EA's been doing their covers.
Mm-hmm.
And personally for me, I don't like the way, like, I don't mind it, but it's just the cover for it, like, looks like it was almost made in pic collage a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
so like
go ahead.
The styling of it, I'm fine with. It's just, once again, it's like it's the pic collage thing, and also as Demon pointed out in a Twitch chat, it looks like a Battlefield logo.
Yeah, it looks like a Battlefield logo. The other thing that I was thinking of is, so I don't know if they meant to make it look like this, but like with so they've got the propaganda images on the side, and they've got the propaganda images underneath the neck. It almost looks like these soldiers, US and Russian, or USSR, I should say. It's almost like they're trying, like, it almost looks beach vibey to me. Like they're wearing a Hawaiian shirt kind of a thing. And maybe it's the colors that are, like, am I wrong? That's the first thing I thought of, where it's like, are they wearing Hawaiian shirts down there?
Hey man, dude, that's what happened in the Cold War. It was, we just hung out at the beach and we just got mad at each other because we kicked over each other's sandcastles.
Yeah, I just, like, with me, it does, like, maybe it's because I'm used to Call of Duty, like, especially Black Ops. Call of Duty covers are dark. They use dark colors. Like I said, mainly the Black Ops one. So, like, for me, this is one where it's like, okay, it's not going to be anything where it's like a make or break situation. Like, I'm not going to not buy the game because of this. But, like, it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, I'm not super pumped about the cover. But yet again, doesn't matter if the cover's bad. It matters if the game is bad. The other one is, the second one I should say, is this is from VGC.com. A little bit of reviews coming out, Soaps. Battletoads getting mixed reactions from people. So, like, you've got the reviews, like VGC gives it 5 out of 5. Pure Xbox, 8 out of 10. IGN, 8 out of 10. But then you got other ones where Game Informer, only a 5 out of 10. One of the things that I've been kind of seeing is that people are calling it a jumbled mess of a sequel. And the thing I want to ask you is, do these reviews, these mixed reviews, make you want to buy this game less, or does it steer you away from trying the new Battletoads game?
I mean, to be fair, I wasn't going to play Battletoads anyways.
Okay. Let's say you were. So, would it then steer you away?
Not really, and it's mostly just because I'm really jaded when it comes to like when companies like IGN and like other like reviewers review a game, because and I'll personally use this example with Last of Us 2. You've seen the disparity in reviews, right?
Yeah.
Where like every single reviewer, like IGN and stuff like that, gave it like 10 out of 10. They're like, this is the greatest game of all time. It gets to the masses, everyone gives it like a 4.
Yeah.
So it's one of the things, I'm always really jaded with that. But also at the same time, I'm jaded when it comes to user reviews, because you have people who review bomb it just for shits and giggles because they think it's funny.
Well, you've got people who review bomb it. You've also got people to where it's like, I'm going to bring in the Avengers beta that, like, it's been going on for week on week. But after that first week of the PlayStation, I saw so many reviews that were in the negative spin. And there's one, I can't remember who it was basically like, oh, the boss battle didn't feel special. And I'm sitting there going, well, did you just play the story missions? Because if you just played the 3 story missions, then yeah, you're not gonna think that it's anything special. You got to play the drop zones. You got to play the actual villain mission they put on the war table. Like, to me, it's like, it depends on how you play the game. Might be different than how the reviewer played the game. To where for the reviewer, oh, it's a game that didn't jive with me. Like, usually when I reviewed games back in the past, which I would like to do more for our channel moving forward, but like, when I would review a game, if I didn't like it, or if I thought it was bad, I would always say, hey, these are my opinions. If it was a game, like, let's say it was a genre where it's like, I'm going to be honest, this is not one of my favorite genres, or this is a genre that sometimes doesn't jive with me, I would make sure that was in there, because sometimes the reviewer just doesn't jive with the gameplay. And that's the big thing, to where it's like, I'm still going to try this out because I want to play the Battletoads game. Now, will it suck? I don't know. Will it be great? I don't know. But I'm going to experience that for myself. The next thing we've got is we're talking about Control. So Control's publisher is explaining why it won't offer free next-gen upgrades. So today, 505 Games is attempting to clear the air with a blog post about why it won't be offering owners of the original Control game a free next-gen upgrade when that version releases in 2021. It comes after last week's announcement that Control Ultimate Edition, the $39.99 release that bundles the base game with all the DLCs, will give players on Xbox and PS4 a free upgrade to the next-gen version. 505 caused some backlash when it said it won't offer any such upgrade to people who bought the original copy of the game released in 2019. Soapy, is Control in the right? They said that, I should probably read their statement really quick. To bring Control to next-gen consoles in any form, we had to make some difficult decisions, and those came in the form of creating a simplified Control Ultimate Edition product plan we have today. I've got my answer. It's very short. It's very sweet, but I want to know yours first. Right, wrong, what are you thinking about this no free upgrade for Control users? Control players, I should say.
I mean, I see where they're coming from. I think it's something that I don't expect a free upgrade, and it's mostly because since we're hopping from this gen to next gen, I think it's a lot of people are going to realize very quickly, if a game is on both and you buy it on like this current gen Switch, most companies are going to make you buy the game again.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, does it suck to buy the game again? Of course. Like, everyone, like, I hate if I have to buy a game again on next gen, which is why I never bought GTA 5 on Xbox. But, like, I see where they're coming from, though. So I think I understand it. Is it shitty? Yeah, but you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, and like, so I understand that. And the problem with this is that it was a game released in 2019. There's enough time between it where they can say, sorry, sucks to suck. But like, there's a part of me that is like, what do you expect? We talked about it for weeks, days. I forgot. We do this daily instead of weekly now. Days here on the show when talking about Epic versus Apple, where these companies want to make as much money as they can. So, of course, they're going to make you buy a $40 version to get everything you already have just on a newer system, where if this was released this year, then yes, I could see a free upgrade going out. Like, it sucks. I wouldn't buy the next gen version. I'd be like, fuck it. I ain't paying $40 to play the same game that I'm already playing just with better graphics. As I buy Madden each and every year. However, I have not yet, for this year, I don't know when I'm going to splurge and buy that Madden game, but yeah, it's just, I look at it, it sucks. This is the corporation wanting to make more money, and that's just how it is. Like, we've talked about it enough of like, that's how corporations make money. They come up with ways to make you buy the same thing that you already have for $40, $60. But the last thing for Shorty But A Goodie, this one I'm going to let you take it away, Soapy, because you're the bigger Borderlands 3 guy than I am. I played it with Dave. We didn't really play a lot of it. Kind of my fault. I fell out of it before Dave did. And I know that Borderlands is a game that if you're not playing with your buddies, then it's kind of a useless venture to be playing. But Borderlands 3 DLC 4 reveal is coming on August 25th. This will be on Tuesday. According to this mentalmars.com article, Gearbox Software and 2K Games just announced they will be revealing the 4th story campaign add-on to BL3 on August 25th. The big reveal will be done during a special episode of the Bordercast with the crew of the Borderlands show. There will also be a developer interview regarding DLC 4. I'm very excited for this showcase. Soapy, what are your thoughts? DLC 4, Borderlands 3.
I can't fucking wait. Sorry, I'm like scrolling through the thing real quick.
Go ahead.
Because I remember there was something in here that that it was Randy Pitchford, basically a big dickhead that works at Gearbox, but I love him. But I also hate him because he's a pedophile. But he's also in a prominent position, so there's well, let me read the this is basically what he
bringing
confirmed.
It down, a little bit of a downer there.
All right. Yeah, but there's basically we know the general idea. Let me read the thing here.
Go ahead.
Let me all right, there's still one story mode campaign add-on in the season pass. Randy Pitchford hinted at going inside the mind of the most badass psycho on Pandora. Now, anyone who's played Borderlands, especially I hope Dave knows, that basically means DLC 4 is about Krieg, the playable character from Borderlands 2. Unless if they're about to absolutely pull the biggest swerve of 2020. And if they do, fuck this game. I hate it. If not, I love this game.
So, I'll ask you, what's the biggest swerve? Because I feel like I know what that means, but I don't.
It's basically like this is what you expect, but then it turns out it's something else.
Yeah, like, do you have a character in mind that would be that swerve?
No, like they'll just find some other stupid person to fucking have it be.
Who's the character from the older games that was like small female character that was crazy? What was her name?
Tina.
Have you ever played as her in a game?
No, Tina's an adult in this one though.
Oh, okay.
In Borderlands 3.
Oh, okay. Because when you said crazy as mine, I was like, oh, do they mean her? You're gonna go into the mind of her?
100%. The second they said the most badass psycho on Pandora, I knew damn well it was Krieg.
Because he was a psycho.
Yeah, because he's literally a psycho.
Yeah.
So I'm actually interested in what angle they decide to go with this. Like, do they tie it into the story? And if so, is this one that's locked behind you have to get to a certain point in the campaign? Because what I'm thinking it could be involved in, and I'm not going to give away too much because it is a spoiler for Borderlands 3. Do they tap into the one spoiler that I think Dave's beaten the game, so he'll probably know what I'm talking about. I mean, I guess I could do like spoiler warning, but like I can't really do something like that.
So here's what I need to do. And I've yet to do it. I thought about doing it last night because we talked about Tony Hawk. You know how we have the big space underneath our names? From now on, I am going to, after the show, I will create it. I'm going to create a PNG that says spoiler. And basically it's just going to be, all right, you've got time to mute your Twitch stream. As long as you see spoiler up, we are talking about that. So what I will do is, to make it a little bit easier on you, is if anyone, because you're going to say a spoiler, right?
Yeah.
All right. I am going to put at the bottom of our screen. Oh, you guys can't see it because it's overlaid. All right. I'm going to put this browser at the bottom of our screen. Once the overlay is back up, actually, I'm just going to do that. Once the overlay is back up, you can unmute your Twitch stream if you do not want, or your YouTube video, if you do not want the spoilers. So right now, if you don't want anything spoiled, hit the mute button, and then when you see the yellow overlay come back up, that's when it's okay to unmute your Twitch stream. So we'll give you 2 seconds to mute. All right, Soapy, go ahead.
All right, so one of the major things that was an integral part of Krieg's character was that he had like this special affection towards one of the characters named Maya, because the whole thing with Krieg, he has like basically split personality.
Yeah, because he's a psycho.
He has a voice in his head of what everyone believes is what he sounded like before he went crazy. And then there's his actual voice where he basically just says stupid shit like, I'm the conductor of the poop train and stuff like that. But in Borderlands 3, Maya dies.
Yeah.
And basically she gets killed by the main villains. And my main thing that I'm wondering is, do they have it so that this DLC basically focuses on Krieg grieving over the fact that Maya's dead?
Maybe.
And like that's the thing that I'm almost wondering is like, do they also basically kind of use this as a way to like actually show, how do I want to word this? Like show like what the mind of a psycho actually looks like. And like, is this the way that they can also write it, that like Krieg's insanity basically gets cured because the Vault Hunters go in and basically like probably destroy the source of it or something like that?
Yeah. I mean,
like that's what I'm thinking.
I mean, it relates to what happened in Borderlands 3 where you said Maya died.
Yeah. And also it was with I mean, you could the spoiler part's done if you want to do that. Yeah, that's basically just the spoiler. The game's been out for like a year, but I wanted to make sure because there are still people who haven't bought it yet.
So, yeah, and I mean, for spoilers, I should probably have the I should make that where it just says spoiler. We have it up. Okay, spoiler done. Because there's been a couple times in the last few days where he said, "Oh, spoiler section," and had no way to tell people. But yeah, like Borderlands is something where it's like, I would like to go back and play it. I feel like the only way I'm going to be able to play it with Dave is if we play it on computer, because Dave don't want to do PlayStation. But at the same time, Dave said today it's still fucking $60 on Steam. So I don't know if I'm going to be buying Borderlands 3 on computer anytime soon. But Soapy, here's the deal for this one. So we've got a draft to get to. Fuck it. We've got time. This one might be a little bit shorter, but it's basically an article. We talked about this earlier with Avengers and their lineup. An article from VGC, Tom Ivan. Marvel's Avengers publisher says it's planning powerful add-on content. Square Enix president Yusuke Masuda has said the company plans to extend the life of its upcoming Marvel Avengers service game with powerful add-on content. Speaking during a financial results briefing this month, Matsuda said he was confident about the game's prospects, but that it was difficult to predict sales volumes, as he believes growing digital sales will play a more important role than sales of physical copies. Duh, is what I have to say there. Asked what the company's expectations for the title are, Matsuda said, "Our expectations are very high, since it will be a title with GAAS, Games as Service, features. Our operations after the game goes live will also be key. not just initial sales launch. We hope to build excitement around the title by rolling out powerful add-on content, he added. So this kind of, yes, we know they were going to do more add-on content, but we talked about earlier in the week their kind of list of data mine names that they already have in the game. And we have a Patreon question from Philly Shawn. You can ask your questions on Patreon, patreon.com/MVPvids, silver and above members. And he asks this, Soapy. With all the Marvel's Avengers leaks, what character do you believe was snubbed in any way? If you do not mind, you mind if I take this one first?
Sure.
Okay, usually I kick it to you, but this is one where I've played this game. I'm excited for this game. I'm pumped because Dave is excited for this game. He's actually going to play it on PlayStation with me. We're going to play it together. I can't wait to play it with him. I can't wait to stream it. 2 weeks, people. 2 weeks. But for me, when it comes to characters, out of all the ones that we saw, the two big names that I was like, there was three things. Snub. The first one, Wolverine. I know you gotta have Wolverine at some point in this game. I mean, maybe you don't have it planned right now, but how does Wolverine not even make the radar? He has a history with the Avengers. He's the fucking hottest X-Men character ever. I would say most popular X-Men character ever. And that's just off of my big dumb brain with no research done in front of me.
Wait, okay, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. Does Deadpool technically count as an X-Men character?
I was going to bring him up next. Where so Deadpool is interesting because he kind of mixes up with everyone. He's kind of on his own. He's a mercenary. He's been in a lot of stories with like Colossus and X-Men, but he's been in a lot of Spider-Man stories, Avengers stories. He's kind of off on his own. When I mean X-Men, I mean like X-Men core characters. Like what you tell me Cyclops is more popular than Wolverine.
No.
But you brought me into number 2. Deadpool. I know Deadpool is technically a good guy, bad guy, but you're telling me they haven't thought about putting Deadpool in this game in some way. Like, you're going to have Spider-Man in it. Deadpool right now is the most popular film character that they have. Because Iron Man is dead. Sorry, Endgame spoilers. But basically you don't have Wolverine yet. You don't have Deadpool. And then the last one is nothing about Guardians of the Galaxy characters. Unless I'm mistaken, there was
Guardians of Gary.
Yeah, of Gary. No Star-Lord, no Gamora, no Drax, no Rocket, no Groot, no Adam Warlock. Like these are things, yes, I know it's not the movies, but like Guardians of the Galaxy has done well. They've got to have things planned for that. Deadpool's doing well. Wolverine always does well. Like, those are the big 3 for me. Now, do they add those at some time? Maybe. Maybe these were just the preliminaries that they had. But like, if they don't give us Wolverine or Deadpool, I don't mean they have to give us both, but if they don't give us one of those, that might be a huge miss for this game character-wise, and kind of going into Shawn's question of that would be a huge snub for Marvel's Avengers.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know like basically anything about Marvel. So the only 2 characters is I'm happy you didn't steal one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Was I'm surprised Quicksilver wasn't one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like I said before, I don't know if they're just counting as like that home dog dead. Because if they are, then, I guess that makes sense for him not being in the game.
The only thing with Quicksilver is, and this is only from me playing it, is if they're trying to find characters that fit the kind of like 4 models that they have, where Iron Man fly around, shoot shit, Hulk big and smash, Kamala Khan kind of a little bit more mobile but can smash things, and then Black Widow, who's just your basic brawler. Like with him, maybe they don't know how to make his speed portion basically they don't want that speed portion to break the game. But yes, he is one that's like Scarlet Witch is in it. Where's Quicksilver?
Yeah, and then the other one, and obviously, once again, like I said, I don't know that much.
Mhm.
And I wouldn't be surprised if this one doesn't happen because I don't know if I think he kind of falls into the same realm as Deadpool.
Okay.
Yeah. Would Punisher be in the game? I mean, obviously, I know he's not an Avenger, and I don't even think he technically counts in the Avengers universe, but like, yeah, like that's the only thing that sucks. I don't know like anything about Marvel.
That's the thing, though. It's like that would be cool as like a DLC type of thing. Like we know with Hawkeye, we're going to be getting his own DLC story. Like with Punisher, he's been in Avengers stories. He's done things with the Avengers. He's just not an Avenger. So like he could totally be in the game, but it would be like he would have to have, in my mind, his own story of like, why is he being brought into it? Yet again, we don't know what the story is of this. I know Philly Shawn also brings up they might be planning an X-Men game, so that's why they might keep the X-Men players out of it because they want to save them for that game. I haven't heard anything about that. He also mentions like Ghost Rider and Blade that they want to do, so they aren't Avengers, so Punisher would be dope, is what he was saying. But like those are kind of like I don't have any that kind of jump off the page rather than those. Like if they're doing an X-Men game,
I mean,
that's why I understand. Go ahead.
There was the other one that I brought up before. Goose the cat, where's he at?
Goose the cat. I don't even know who that is, to be honest with you.
Dude, he was. I don't remember what movie he was in.
Oh,
but,
was he in? No, he was in Captain Marvel. That was Goose. Goose the cat was
dude.
the cat.
Yeah, dude. Where's Goose at?
Jeez, Goose
give me Goose or give me death. Damn it.
Yeah, Goose the cat was from Captain Marvel. That's what it was. Give me Goose or give me death. In that case, where's Howard the Duck? Howard the Duck's gotta be in this game, man. He was in an Avengers movie. Why isn't he in the Avengers game? It really was a Guardians of the Galaxy movie, but you guys understand. But that is going to do it for Games Live today. Make sure to join the Discord chat if you have not already. Link down below in the description, or it will be put into Twitch chat if you're on Twitch. Remember, if you're watching us on Twitch right now, these are up on YouTube the very next day at the latest, but try to go up as soon as possible on MVP Entertainment. If you're watching us on YouTube, we do the show live Monday through Friday around 5:36 Central Time. So catch us live, twitch.tv/MVPvids. Patreon.com/MVPvids is where you can help support us. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Pat Hill and Philly Shawn. That is going to do it for Soapy and I. We will be back tomorrow to wrap up the week and lead you into the weekend with your gaming news. But until that time, we are going to go. For people in the Twitch chat right now wondering where the draft lottery stuff is going to be, it starts in about a half an hour. I am going to end the stream sometime within the next half hour, probably 15 minutes at the least. We are going to kind of take a break. I got to go make my food so that I can at least eat in between these. And then we will be back live for the NBA draft lottery. But we will be back tomorrow for Games Live. And as always, have a good day, everybody.
Bye.